Everyone thinks a 1000W wind turbine is a magic bill slasher. But here's the thing, most backyard winds won't get you anywhere near 1000W, and that's exactly why the Tumo-Int 1000W both underwhelmed me and quietly impressed me. Sounds contradictory? Stick with me. I tested this for 30 days on a 33-foot tower with an anemometer at hub height and a shunt meter on a 48V battery bank. I logged wind speed, RPM, watts, and noise. The Amazon rating is 2.5, which screams buyer beware. But then I hit one scenario where this turbine finally made sense, and it's not what the listing leads you to believe. Before we dive into what I discovered, if you're already convinced and want to grab it at the best price, I dropped a link below. But hang tight, because what I found about real-world output and the controller might save you a headache and some money. Why did I even put another small wind turbine on my property? Simple: winter. My off-grid setup is solar-heavy, and in December and January my panels nap by 4 p.m. I needed something to cover the night trickle fridge cycling, router, a few lights. I've tried two budget turbines before, a so-called 400W unit that screamed at 15 mph and barely delivered 30W, and another that seized after a month. So I was skeptical, especially with that 2.5-star rating. But Tumo-Int promises low noise, startup in low winds, mechanical plus electromagnetic overspeed protection, automated windward yaw, and even a 3-year warranty with claims of up to 15 years no maintenance if applied correctly. My kit was the 48V model with controller. Expectations? Guarded, hopeful that a bigger rotor and better controller would finally make winter nights less battery anxiety-inducing. Test 1, assembly, install, and sanity check. The aluminum alloy housing looks decent, and the fiberglass reinforced blades felt stiffer than my last turbine. Balancing the blades mattered. Out of the box, one blade was a few grams heavy, a small strip of tape fixed it. I mounted it on a 33-foot guide mast. The controller is basic, 3-phase AC in, DC out to battery, dump load built in. It clearly favors lead-acid profiles. For LiFePO 4 I had to tweak absorb and float to conservative settings. At idle wind, it yawed into the breeze on its own, as advertised. Noise, at 12 mph measured at ground level 33 feet away, 47-49 dB, a soft whoosh and a faint hum. At 20 mph that ramped to about 56 dB, not silent but not obnoxious. So far so good, but here's where it gets interesting. Test 2, low wind startup. The listing talks about optimized aerodynamics and low start speed. In my site's 6-8 mph breezes, the rotor spun easily around 3.54 ms, but usable power didn't show until closer to 8-9 mph. At 9-10 mph, I saw a steady 1040W into the 48V bank. That's a trickle, and it matters if you just need to offset standby loads. If you expect 200-300W at 8 mph, you'll be disappointed. But then a front rolled in. Test 3, real wind, 12-18 mph sustained with 22-24 mph gusts. This is the core. In 12-14 mph, output hovered 120-200W at 16-18 mph, 200-280W was typical, with bursts to 320W. Peak recorded was 420W during a 24 mph gust, charging at roughly 8-9A into 48V respectable, but still not the 1000W on the box. The controller warmed up and I could hear the faint fan kick in. Then, at about 27-28 mph gusts later that night, the electromagnetic brake engaged early, clamping RPM and dumping excess into the resistor. Good for safety, not great for harvest. You can smell warm electronics if you stand near the dump load, mount it with airflow and away from flammables. Test 4, protection and reliability. Tumo-Int claims mechanical plus electromagnetic overspeed control. Practically, I saw it yaw and slightly feather through aerodynamic stall while the controller applied electronic braking above a setpoint to keep things sane. It never ran away. Twice the controller threw a high voltage alarm when the battery was near full and a gust hit. I adjusted voltage thresholds and it stopped. Hardware check after 4 weeks. Bolts stayed snug, no visible cracks, mild surface oxidation on non-stainless washers. Noise never crossed 60 dB at my measuring point. It handled a frosty morning at -8C with no drama, and the manufacturer claims operation to C and up to 80C. I obviously didn't test those extremes. Here's the revelation I didn't expect. This turbine is not a 1000W generator for most homeowners. It is a 400W average machine in real-world mid-wind sites, and that can still be valuable if you know what you're buying. Over 30 days with an average site wind around 10-11 mph, it produced about 11.5 kWh total, roughly 0.38 kWh per day. On truly blustery days, I logged just over 1.1 kWh. On calm weeks, it mostly kept the batteries topped at night. Compared to a 400W budget turbine I tried last year, the Tumo-Int cut in smoother, made meaningfully more energy in 12-18 mph winds, and importantly didn't try to self-destruct in gusts. Versus the marketing, the 1000W rating appears to be at storm-level winds most folks don't see. And that 2.5-star Amazon rating, a lot of it looks like mismatched expectations, low towers, low wind sites, and controller quirks. The good, sturdy housing, decent blades, honest safety behavior, automated yaw, and a genuine 3-year warranty. The bad, controller is rudimentary for lithium users, early braking leaves watts on the table, and in sub-10 mph wind you'll harvest drips, not buckets. Now that you know it shines only in legit wind on a real tower, you'll want to snag it before stock cycles or pricing jumps. I've got the best current offer linked below, plus the tower hardware I used and a safer external dump load option. Bottom line, if you live coastal, plains, ridgeline, or anywhere you routinely see 12-20 mph and you can mount this 30-40 feet up with proper guying, the Tumo-Int 1000W can be a solid nighttime partner for solar, delivering meaningful trickle to moderate power. If you're suburban with a 10-foot mast, sensitive neighbors, or expecting a true kilowatt from a breeze, skip it. Treat it as a 400W average machine with good safety and a basic controller, not a miracle. Get the sighting right and it works. Get it wrong and it's an expensive weather vane.